This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh boy, we haven't said this very often. Tigers drop the series at Comerica Park. The Cincinnati Reds bounce back to win the final two games of the series, 8-4 the final this afternoon from Comerica Park. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma. And this is your post-game destination. It's the live Locked On Tigers postcast. Your team each and every day, free and available wherever you get your podcast. Do us a favor, like and subscribe. And as I mentioned, I'm not really sure how to conduct today's show. What a brutal performance. I don't know your concern level. The Tigers commit 3 errors, 5 unearned runs, and they just look like a shell of themselves in the 8th and 9th inning, allowing Cincinnati to take the game and the series. Now, they'll have an off day tomorrow to bounce back. And of course, on today's show, we'll have our biggest talking point, our turning point, and our player of the game. And even though the Tigers failed to win the series, we will not fail to have a great postcast show. So buckle up, dial it in, and as always, fire up that comment box. Let me know what you're thinking after today's game. Lots to discuss in this one. The errors, the inability to close out the game, where it all went wrong, and so on and so forth. And as always, anybody that was at Comerica Park, let me know. And I appreciate everybody getting in on the comments as always. But we begin where we always do. Our biggest takeaway, our biggest talking point in the Tigers' 8-4 loss to the Cincinnati Reds.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I'm going to give you a surface level takeaway, and just in my limited and call it what it is, you know, my bird brain sometimes up top here that I don't know what I'm thinking, left, right, up or down, and so on and so forth. But I watched that Cincinnati Reds team this weekend, and I think, how are they only, I think 2 games over 500, 37 and 35. I mean, I know they had a disastrous start, but you got Terry Francona. You've got a top 6 in that lineup that you put up against a lot of different teams and say you feel pretty good about this lineup. And then Elly De La Cruz. I mean, I know he's a superstar, but not watching him every single day, you forget about the God-given talent and abilities that he has. And this is not me just gassing up the opposition because the Detroit Tigers failed to win the series and lost to the Cincinnati Reds, but it's the God honest truth. I watch Elly De La Cruz and home runs in 4 consecutive games. I mean, the way he took over the game today from an individual standpoint, I got to call it what it is. That's my biggest takeaway. And, you know, whether it was putting pressure on the opposition with his speed, you forget how fast he truly is. Causing the throwing error and able to show the power abilities. Like I said, home runs in 4 consecutive games, but man, he really cost the Tigers and put the Cincinnati Reds on his back. So tip of the cap. Unfortunately, you know, you wish it wasn't against your team, but if we're being honest with ourselves and objectively speaking, that's a superstar effort from Elly De La Cruz, not just today, but throughout the whole series. Now, Tigers standpoint, I mean, the biggest takeaway is what happened down the stretch. I mean, this is a game where the Tigers had a 4-2 lead, and for one reason or another, I should say for one reason and another, because there were several different reasons that contributed to this, but the lack of fundamentally sound defense and the inability to get guys out. And I don't want to put it all on the bullpen, because you go back to that huge 8th inning where the Reds batted around and the Reds score 4 runs in the top half of the 8th inning to come back from 2 runs down to not only tie it, but then to take the lead. And you can never assume the double play, but that's going to be the biggest play we look at in that 8th inning, in the ground ball to Zach McKinstry that not only did, and again, that goes back to the speed of Elly De La Cruz. Not a lot of runners there are safe with just that slight hesitation, safe at second with just that slight hesitation from McKinstry on the ground ball over to second base. And it wasn't an egregious error. It was honestly just a split second, but that allowed De La Cruz to be safe at second. And then the throw over to first not in time either. And that being a part of what started, it wasn't even the only error in the inning. You had the throwing error by Herder to begin the inning, and with again with the inability to turn the double play, it's almost like it was a situation where when it rains, it pours, because that allowed the inning to continue. It would have been an inning-ending double play. And I mean, this, like I go back to that Cincinnati Reds comment I made, is, I mean, this is a roster that has some guys. Will Benson, a tough at bat against Will Vest. He battled and eventually gets the sacrifice fly. And then Gavin Lux, he's a proven veteran in this league. He gets the 2-run single that kind of broke the back of the Tigers. And then the wild pitch. And that's where I want to go next, because I saw some people in the comments getting in on this action. If you were at Comerica Park, let me know. But Will Vest throws the wild pitch, and then his day is done. And I think we're all on the same page here in that nothing has obviously been deemed final or whatnot, but it didn't look good. And with the value that Will Vest brings to this team, you hope that it's not. And again, I want everyone to hear this. I am not reporting anything. I haven't seen anything. We're on right after the game. So if you're listening to the audio version of this at a later time, and maybe something has developed, but Will Vest exiting the game at the time that he did after the wild pitch, after throwing fastball after fastball after fastball, just makes you, Hannafy comes in and eventually gets the line out there to end the inning. But I do worry for Will Vest, and that's what our first comment is about from Detroit Sports Talk. I saw this on X. Will Vest, his mom, was walking up our aisle. I told her I hope he's all right. She immediately broke down and started holding my arm. If you want to know what she thinks, awful. Okay. So people at the game, and again, not reporting anything by any means. We're just merely commenting on what, speculation, of course, and keep that again where it is. But hopefully there's nothing to transpire as far as any kind of negative news or any kind of injury as it relates to Will Vest, because we know he's just way too valuable for this team. But disappointing series conclusion. And how about this crazy stat? If you were listening, and Dan Dickerson on the play-by-play with the Sunday leadoff game on the Roku, and the note that was passed along that this is the first time in 39 series that the Cincinnati Reds have lost the first game of the series, but come back to win 2 consecutive to take the series. That's just insane stuff. Absolutely crazy. So that being said, we'll take some comments now, because it was in fact a disappointing end to what felt like a solid start to the series. I mean, when the Tigers go out and win the opener, you're feeling good and got the best record in baseball, and obviously get blown out yesterday. And then Cincinnati takes care of business today. DT Lions says, what was Hinch thinking? That's why you put Vest in the beginning of the 8th, not save him for the middle of the 8th to clean up Herder's crap. I agree. The bullpen presents some challenges, and managing the bullpen with a 2-run lead. Let's not forget this Tigers team had a 2-run lead. Now, could the defense have done more? Absolutely. Does the defense need to do more? Certainly. And some of that was Herder's own undoing, but man, you had a chance to get out of it and couldn't make the play when it mattered the most. Jason Walter, airs are bad. Welcome to my TED Talk. Yeah, pretty much. Keep it simple, short, and sweet. 5 unearned runs cost us a home series, indeed. And this is the first time, honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves, that I've hopped on after a game and just thought, wow, we have no good news to report. In fact, this is, I don't want to say, if you listen to the flagship from time to time and here on 97.1 The Ticket, the tired bit of same old Lions. And this had a feel of some of those bad Tigers teams we watched before, the turnaround of last year, and some of those really, really dark days that you had to get through where you're just making error after error or whatever. You're just playing bad baseball. That's what it boils down to. Today was a day of bad baseball. Detroit Sports Talk says we're going to be fine, guys. Yes, errors and not good, but there's still a long season. Trust, I believe. Oh yeah. Nobody's not believing in this team. That's for sure. It's just a bad weekend, and you're going to have those from time to time. I do think, if that bat didn't get in Javi's way, the score would have been different, and Javi knows how to rock blue. I would agree with that. The bat certainly impacted his ability on that air, and it's just a tough break. Demetrius McNeil is up next after scoring 11 runs in game one. The last 2 games included today errors, 2 of the 3 in the top of the 8th inning after a 2-run lead. Yeah, listen, I'm guilty of it, and I think a lot of people would raise their hand on this one, where Tigers go up by 2 runs in the home half of the 7th, and you've just been spoiled by a good thing. We all have been thinking like, yeah, no problem. Tigers take another series on to the next. A little off day tomorrow, but the baseball gods had a different script in hand. Okay, hang tight. We're gonna do quick little maintenance, and then we'll come back with our player of the game, our turning point, and tie a bow on this one, and look ahead to the next series, the Pittsburgh Pirates, next on Live Locked On Tigers Postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers Postcast is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, you got to crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios, they're one of the highest protein nuts. And guess what? Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. There it is. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. We do it live. I love the no shells variety. They're perfect for the grab and go snack for busy days. Whether you're snacking at your desk or you're on a road trip and you just need that quick protein boost, they're always a good go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell, well, that's perfect for the satisfying crunch. The in-shell option are also a classic favorite. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Wonderfulpistachios.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head out to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it all possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. The prices on the app, they go down the closer you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and the lowest price guaranteed that takes the worrying out of buying. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create that account, redeem the code using LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Tigers fall to the Cincinnati Reds, 8-4, the final in this one. And get some stats for you. Will Vest gets hit with the loss. He's now 5-1 on the season. And he gave up the 3 hits, and none of the runs were earned, all unearned runs, which is a reoccurring theme. Tigers gave up 5 unearned runs as a team altogether. That being said, hey, off day tomorrow before an opportunity to bounce back against a bad Pittsburgh Pirates team. So looking ahead to that one. Oh, yeah, before we do that, we got to get into our what do we got to get into? Our turning point and our player of the game. Let's do that right now. It's the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point in this one, the 7th into the 8th inning. So bottom of the 7th, Tigers strike for 2 runs, a little RBI single from Gleyber Torres. What a series he had, by the way. I don't want the loss, and I should have mentioned it earlier, but man, Gleyber Torres, such an amazing offseason addition to this team. Scott Harris and company deserves a lot of credit. Gleyber Torres deserves a lot of credit because he has really brought it, and deserves to be an all-star. But he gets the RBI after the Javi Baez double. Then you got Riley Green doubling home Gleyber Torres. And again, the 2-run lead at that point in the game, based on the way this Tigers team has been all season, you're thinking, here we go, another series win. But credit to the Reds rather, when they flipped the script in that 8th inning by batting around. Now they got some help, and that's where this game turned. But at the end of the day, they exploited the Tigers' mistakes, made the most of them, and ended up scoring 6 runs in the final 2 innings. Let's get to our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I think we all know this one. It's Elly De La Cruz, and he can just take the player of the series because he was that good. A home run in each of the games. Today for Elly De La Cruz, it's 3 more runs batted in, 3 more hits, and 3 more runs scored. And again, the pressure that he puts on the opposition with that speed is certainly game changing. So Cincinnati Reds moved to 37-35. The Tigers now 46-27, 24-11 at home, which if we're doing the blindfold, if you didn't know anything else, you'd take this. That certainly applies here. That, on June 15th, if we could sit here and say, man, we just lost 2 out of 3, and now we're only 19 games over 500. Think you'd take that, but certainly some discussion and some concern. Let's take a few more comments before we wrap it all up. And Rufus T-Cat says we were like 500 this time last year and we made the playoffs. There was still some cool moments in this game, especially Wenzel and Gley. Elly is crazy good. What are you going to do? Yeah, Wenzel Perez with the game-tying home run. You like that. But at the end of the day, you like wins the most. And an opportunity to get some wins against a Pittsburgh Pirates team that, call it what it is, hasn't exactly lit the world on fire. They're 29-43. The Tigers will see Paul Skeens on Thursday, June 19th. That's the day game, 1:10 Eastern time. The first pitching matchup on Tuesday, because remember, off day tomorrow. It's Casey Mize back on the bump. Already 6-2 with 2.95 ERA. Bailey Falter for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then the game number 2 pitching matchup, Tarek Skubal will go for the Tigers and Andrew Heaney for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So time to wash this one from the memory, bounce back, and enjoy the off day tomorrow. I'll miss everybody. And if you miss anything, you got to check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Make sure you like and subscribe, by the way, because this postgame show is free wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Still crazy. You get this type of community, this type of camaraderie, excitement, reaction, commiserate on a day like today. You get it all here on the Locked On Tigers postcast. So make sure you like and subscribe. Tell a friend about the program because we're always looking to grow. That's for sure. Appreciate everybody's comments today. And unfortunately, this one does not go the way of the Tigers. They lose to the Cincinnati Reds 8-4. Off day tomorrow. And then we're back with you for the conclusion of the homestand. Tigers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Should have said that sooner. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. And like I said, appreciate everyone tuning in. See you next time on the Locked On Tigers postcast.